everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Four Jobbers Podcast. I'm, of course, Ginger Heat, the orange one, rocking the Dexter Loomis this week, and we are three jobbers this week because one of us is in Italy, and it's not these two, the Waxy, the Venomous, the son of the dentist, Ryan Waxman, the Wax Mamba, and, of course, Jason. They hate Jason, they love Jason. He is Jason Le Bon this week. So Jason the Good. Jason, you don't look like you're doing well because you have a ice mask on. Why do you have an ice mask on?
Why do you think?
I don't know.
Well, it could be because it just feels nice. It could be because you have a headache. It could be because something in your brain told you that you should wear it.
All the above.
Perfect. All right.
I ordered it at like 9 p.m. last night.
Oh, really?
Shout out to Amazon, but also screw Amazon.
Yeah. Never let them know what your next move
Stick
is.
it to the man.
I hate them, but I keep buying.
What else can we do, right?
That's it. It's just the convenience. We're getting screwed by the convenience. Used to be called the convenience store. Now?
The convenience is all around you.
Self-pickup, all those other things. Anyway, we got to talk some wrestling. There was a pay-per-view, of sorts, a gimmick, a PLE, ESPN debut, and ESPN was not impressed, or at least one of the writers who watched it was very honest about the critique. Do you guys think he was right? Do you think he was in the right? What do you think?
Well, I mean, he has the right to feel the way he feels about what he's watching. That's for sure. I mean, it's extra funny because it's ESPN's own guy who's reviewing the network's production. But I think it's great that he's able to at least be honest about it. Doesn't have to give him an A+. And he's right. I would probably give it a C also. Maybe that's generous. I don't know. I guess we'll talk about it more, but I just,
Well, yeah, it was just the overall feeling.
I
A
would say
C,
a
maybe
C.
something in that
Yeah,
range would
mid,
make sense.
mid.
And I think the most important thing that Disney wants out of it, they don't care if it's a really good wrestling show. They don't give a shit. They just want viral stuff because when you're signing up with the WWE, you're sort of guaranteeing yourself you're going to get a lot of viral action and stuff that they can talk about on SportsCenter. Maybe have a couple celebrities, be really involved so that it can make SportsCenter and a lot more like that. It's so there wasn't a lot of viral, caliber content coming out of it. Jason, what about you?
Seems a lot of people were upset that John Cena got his ass kicked. And I would agree. I think I would agree with the C, because it's not a fail. It's not the worst, but it's also not impressive. So I would say that sounds about right. There's only one match that kind of stands out, I think. I mean, there's a couple,
yeah.
The CM Punk match was fun. Obviously, La Primera, Pasta Primavera was the best match in my opinion. I'm not even a fan, like overly of a fan. I think she's great, but like I'm not a huge fan. And it was good.
Yeah, it was entertaining. Like it was not a non-entertaining show, but there was big expectations. They keep doing this lately, where it's like we have these expectations, and they're talking about it like I know what a promoter's supposed to do is talk about it like it's the greatest show of all time. Right, to get us to tune in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you have to live up to the hype sometimes. It just doesn't happen often enough. And this was supposed to be ESPN's debut. So lately, when they've had a debut, it's like Netflix and that, they made it a really big deal. Even if it wasn't the best in the world, it was still like mega matches and stories and viral stuff happen.
Well, Triple H hyped this up like an insane amount. So I expected something super special to happen. And
yeah, he really hyped it.
Nothing of note really happened, I don't think.
There was story, and the stories progressed.
But that's
there
not
was
special.
that,
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
It's bare minimum.
It was like mid-chapter type stuff. It wasn't, the high points of these stories. It wasn't.
Once again,
I don't know. It's like
aside-
I was like when they get to Mount
aside
Doom,
from the women's match, it glorified weekly show.
Saturday night's main event.
It's Saturday night's main event all over again. It seems that
That's all it is.
it's all smoke, no fire. And I don't want to be overly negative because, yeah, sure, it wasn't awful.
Yeah.
You just expect more at this point. Maybe we were spoiled because I feel like wrestling got really, or the WWE, I should say. WWE is not all wrestling, but got really good over the last couple years. And it seems like now we're back in that lull a little bit, or we've reverted to the norm, maybe. I'm not sure at this point if we're just in a valley or if this is just kind of what we're going to have going forward.
There's good
Yeah.
stories happening. It's just not to the level of, like there just recently there was the AJ Lee return and all of that, and then the face off, but it just hasn't like exploded from there. It was just like that was an explosive moment, and it's like, okay, now we're gonna stretch it.
But it wasn't like an explosive moment because of how it was written or presented. It was just because of what it was, like you couldn't really mess it up.
Well, I mean, like in terms of like us being locked in on story, there was the Becky slapping CM Punk stuff. Like, that was like must watch. We wanted to tune in to see where this was going, right? Is AJ Lee going to show up and all of that? And then when she finally does, that's such a huge payoff.
But that's what you're saying again, right? That they want the viral moment. That's why they always say it got viewed 8 billion times on YouTube in 24 hours. But then John Cena turning heel, and then you don't know what to do. And it goes back exactly to John versus Brock, which was a match that on paper, obviously everything else aside, a lot of people were,
let's get into it. This is the first match of the night, right? So let's talk
first of all, the fact
that
this was the first match of the night already raised my eyebrow, at least, because I would think this is main event level caliber between two.
And you think something's going to happen. They're putting it at the beginning because they want people to be tweeting about it and posting about it so that everyone else is going to tune in. And it's like, no one's going to just like, oh my God, he got squashed. I need to watch this card.
It was just such a letdown. I don't get, I know that at this point, maybe I'm coming to accept that Cena's farewell tour is really just that. It's his farewell tour. He gets one run with the belt, drops the belt, turns heel to say he turned heel, comes back to face for no reason, and then just starts facing off against people he feels like it or they want him to, now he's saying he wants AJ. Why? For what?
They got
booked, but why?
It's done now.
What is the point? Don't get me wrong, that's a great match. I want to see it. But what are we doing?
And maybe is it turning into that because like they've served it up to him and been like, hey John, we got this stuff for you. We're gonna turn you heel. And he's like, okay, cool, let's do this. They turn him heel, and it's just been like fail after fail after fail after fail. So maybe he's just like, at this point, he's like, I gotta take this into my own hands. Could be a work. Could just be a work, and this was the thing all along. But it does seem really nice where he's like, he really wants to do a match with AJ this bad. That's pretty cool. If it's true.
We're running out of time for it to be a work about anything at this point, right? Yeah. How many appearances does he have left? Can't be more than like 5.
It's like a handful.
It's fine. If this is what it is, now I've come to accept that this is what it is. And this match was just another example of it. Brock killed him with how many F5s? Like 5, 6?
Yeah, it was crazy. There's so many.
The F5 looks insane on its own. And I know it's John Cena. He's Super Cena. I don't know. I just left the match feeling like that's what I was waiting for. That's what we were all waiting for, and we got that.
I don't want to see spam finishers anymore. I'm tired of it.
Just I miss the days when one finisher, it was called a finisher. Now it's called signature moves. Your signature move, because it doesn't finish the match unless you do enough of them.
So what are the signature moves called now?
I don't know. I don't know. We lost them.
Rhea Ripley started doing Razor's Edge, and they're like, she does Razor's Edge, and they're like, oh, what a shout out to Damian Priest. Call it to her friend Damian Priest. And I was like, oh.
Damian's Edge?
Yeah, but like I know he took Razor's move and is doing it, but you can't like say, now Rhea's doing it, and they're like, oh, that's Damian's move. Like, oh, it's still called the Razor's Edge.
It's called like a crucifix slam or something. It's not. It's not.
They're calling it the Razor's Edge.
Sheamus
just like
that
these
too.
super kicks are not the sweet chin music. It's not the same thing.
Damian's Edge. It needs a different name if Damian's going to be taking it over. Also because it was one of the most protected finishers in history, and I get it's still like it's not the wrestler who invented it doing it, so it won't have the same impact. Is our kayfabe explanation always right?
It's flimsy. It's a flimsy one, but I appreciate the effort to try and justify it. No, this match was a bust, and it kind of set the stage for an underwhelming night. I don't know. I don't have a lot more to say about it. It just,
I think it would be fine if they're setting up like another match, which I heard they probably aren't. Like I thought maybe like his last opponent could be Brock or something. So it's like
Yo,
he works
if it
himself
doesn't
back.
set up anything, what the fuck? No, it can't. It has to.
Yeah,
It has to. It can't just be this was the one-off last match of Brock and John, and that's how it went.
it can
It's
end
insane.
like that.
It's so
Yeah.
stupid. That would be nuts. There's got to be another match, right? Please tell me.
I would think so.
What? It just doesn't make sense to do that. Like, I don't know. Must be cool to be Brock, though. Get a nice paycheck on that one for a little short match, beat up John Cena right off
I
into
will
the
say,
sunset. Didn't even ever rip your
Brock
jeans.
looks insane.
Yeah.
Does
Maybe best he's ever
does
looked.
he look better now physically than peak Brock?
Maybe.
That's crazy with the the diverticulitis and able to get into that shape. At what is it, 50? I'll give him credit there.
Nuts.
He is. I think he's 48.
He's getting up there.
But the thing about him is I saw some guy on TikTok saying like he's a glorified mid-carder or something, or what's
Who
so
is?
special
Brock?
about him. Yeah. And a lot of people couldn't even explain. I guess he's talking about now, maybe like what he is now.
No, not
But
even now. It
he's-
doesn't make sense.
He's
It
a
doesn't make
special
sense now.
attraction. Like, sometimes when people want to like rank wrestlers, they always go to like how many moves can they do, how tight are the moves that they do, and this, that, and the other. It's like at the end of the day, wrestling is a spectacle, and some people just walk in and they're made for it. That's why like I'm always glazing Goldberg. That's one of his main things was just he walked in the
It's
building.
his only thing.
Yeah, I mean you could say that. I don't think it's his only thing, but like you can't. The thing that's so special about that, you can't teach that. Sometimes you can't like make that out of someone. So when someone comes along like that, and everyone's like, "Why does he get the opportunity?" Some people, it's just a special human being for this sport. Like he was made for it, and that's just what it is. And Brock Lesnar is almost 50 years old, and he's still the scariest man on the planet. Talking kayfabe. And it's impressive that he's able to keep it up, like you're saying, with everything he went through with his diverticulitis.
Hey, Victor.
You got it.
Hello,
You
Victor.
nailed
Whatever. His
Hey,
stomach
Victor.
problems. And it doesn't feel like a nostalgia act coming back, and we have to pretend he's still a beast. He is still a beast.
That's the other thing. He's one of the few that didn't have a noticeable slowdown. Like he looks like he can still go just because he has that raw athleticism on top or underneath everything he does. It's never like, oh God, okay, this guy is not what he used to be, but it's cool to see him, and it's more just cool to see him than anything. He's able to still do it. So I'm curious what's next for him. Does he stick around? Did he come back just to give a last match with John Cena, or is he around? I guess what remains to be seen.
I don't know if they talked about it. Was it the promo in before, or is maybe something else I was watching about Brock? He's the greatest draw of like a generation. You know what I mean? In UFC and in WWE, the amount of eyeballs that this guy brings when his name is in the news, going to the NFL, he is so well known that you can say whatever you want about him, call him mid-card, but he draws better than anyone else in the world. So, Connor McDavid. Or McDavid. I'm getting ready for my
McDavid's
fantasy
not a
hockey
draw.
draft, as you could tell. Conor McGregor, that dirty rat, like Brock puts up McGregor numbers. Like no one else can do that. So,
well, doesn't change the fact that this was a rough match.
yeah, I think ESPN gave it a C- if Google's AI is
Because
correct.
it was like
says C-.
it was a setup match. In a vacuum, it sucked. But if they're gonna use it for story, it could work. But I don't think they will. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we'll look back on this match and be like, okay, I get it
Maybe.
now, but
Right now, we
sucks in the moment. So C-, do C- make sense?
We have
The
to
ESPN C-,
rank
yeah?
in the context that we have. We can of course understand that
Yeah.
maybe there's more to come. It seems unlikely. All right, are we going match by match on this, or we want to just kind of cut to highlights? Because what was next was the Bronze versus the Usos with special guest referee La Knight. Jason, what did you think about this match?
This was I don't know. I don't have any feelings on this match. It was just a big car wreck that didn't make me feel anything. This whole Jey Uso all of a sudden turning bad again, I don't buy it yet. I am happy that he's heading in that direction because he has gotten stale. I know it's fun when you're in the arena and he does yeet for 10 minutes, but on TV it's not. It's not fun.
And it's the second time too. It's like, okay, now it's done.
I mean, they're still doing it, right? So
and they do it again, and you're like, oh,
it's part of the, it's part of it, but it's getting a little tired. His little back and forth with his brother, like it feels so artificial and manufactured. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. But this whole, and even the thing with LA Knight, like, why does he really hate LA Knight? Like, I don't know. All of it just seems so thrown together. I'm sick of the bronze. I'm sick of the vision. It's not working out the way I thought it would. I was happy to see them together, but then when Seth went away for a bit, I liked them better without Seth. I don't think they need Seth. I don't think Seth needs them. Frankly, this whole match, I don't really remember anything that happened. I don't even know who won. I forget. So I got nothing to say about this match.
You sounds like you have a lot to say, and your mask is on a little too tight there, bud, because you're going off the rails.
One.
It's just, it was like a Raw main event again.
This match was not good. It did not live up to the hype or expectations at all. They're supposed to hate each other all the time, and they don't hate each other at all yet again, and just messy all around. But the biggest thing about what you said is you don't like the vision. I think the vision is fine. I think just what they're involved in right now sucks because they're just fighting the Usos every week, and every single person is online complaining that every
that makes them
weekly show ends with them beating them up after a match.
Suck.
Every week. It's boring. It sucks.
Exactly. They are.
But I'm not saying that they're better without Seth Rollins. I'm not saying I'm done with the vision. I think
they were more interesting with
can get back on track very fast.
Braun Breaker talking. I want to hear Braun Breaker emerge. I don't care. Seth has been on top for 40 years. Like,
Braun's not the best talker. That's why they
let
a
fun talker.
The other Braun talk most of the time.
Something we want to
quote.
Quote.
He needs to chirp in. Like those two guys talking with Paul Heyman is great, and I think that's going to continue. But right now they're getting sucked into this vortex of whatever the Usos are doing isn't very good, and they're sucking the Brauns down with them.
Sucking the Brauns down. It feels disjointed what they're doing a little bit. The Brauns are focused on the Usos. The Usos are trying to do a little bloodline level drama, but without Roman. Without Sammy, the two best parts of that storyline, it doesn't work.
And then nothing.
It's only two of them. Like, they don't even have Solo's cronies.
Not even Solo's cronies, nothing. And what's his name? Seth.
Jason emerges.
He's done too much ice on the face. Seth is doing the thing with CM Punk, which has been going for like a year. These guys have been feuding. So you don't have, I don't know, for me at least, I kind of agree. Excuse me. You have and I get a faction, the idea of a faction has multiple points of attack. But it doesn't feel like they're a unit. It feels like it's just a couple guys who are friends sometimes. But
because they were together, but then now they're separate and always separate. They're not seen enough together. But when they are together, it's great because Seth, without them, so weakened. Those two, without Seth, are a really strong tag team, but they're not the same as with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. Yeah. So all of them need each other, but for some reason, they're splitting them all up, like you said. Why?
We need more content to realize why they are continuing to work together.
Yeah. And we get a little bit of story. They say this is why we're doing it. We believe in Seth's vision. They say this, more and more every week. But
what's his vision? To just be the champion?
That it's kind of like how Evolution was, right? They believe that they're the future of the business. Seth Rollins is the future of the business, not the Roman Empire or somebody else. Seth Rollins is the best in the world, and those two guys agree with that right now, and so they're willing to follow him because he says to these two guys, you two guys are the future, and we're going to, rise up together, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but, I mean, Evolution, they had like a cool dynamic with the past, present, future, and they all went for
it's
like
not a direct
titles.
Comparison. You don't want the same thing. It's just, it's a young and young-ish, guy who's at the top in like the number one spot with two up-and-comers that could be in the number one spot one day, teaming up to create this super group to dominate the wrestling landscape.
Well, they ain't doing that.
Not yet. I mean, Seth's done a good job on his end. The other two guys need to, maybe go back into the tag team division, win the tag team championship, or win a U.S. title and an intercontinental title. Like, there's so many ways they could go, but right now, they're messing with the Usos again. What's going on with the Usos? I don't know.
All right. Yeah.
Next.
Well, the next match was for the Women's Championship. Or sorry, it's not called the Women's
Nice.
Championship anymore, right? Or it is. No, the Women's World Championship. That's what it's called. It was vacant. It's Stephanie Vaquer, Io Sky, Stephanie Vaquer winning. I think we all alluded to this being the highlight of the WrestlePalooza event. Brad, why? Why would you
Bry Wyatt.
Bry, why? This was just this is a great wrestling spectacle, a match where we didn't know who was going to win, who was going to lose, didn't know who was going to come out on top. Everybody is in love with both competitors. They are both, on fire with the wrestling community. So everyone was locked into this match, and maybe the only match on the entire card that lived up to the hype, I would say. What about you guys?
100%. Two superstars that are very over with the crowd. They don't feel like they're overexposed. We want to see more of them. We don't see too much of them every week. Stephanie Vaquer, whatever you want to say, is getting better every week. I know, obviously, the language is going to be a struggle. The thing about Io, like we always say, she's so animated and speaks in so many different ways. She doesn't need to speak English perfectly. Obviously, Stephanie is kind of the complete opposite. She's doesn't show much emotion at all ever. So it'll be interesting to see how
smiles. She's always got a little smirk. Where it's everybody does that when they don't have enough character yet, where they don't know if they're good or they're bad, or they don't talk a lot. It's just a smirk. Smirk less, be angry more, because the smirk is it's devoid of emotion almost, because so many people do it. It just looks fake. When someone's angry at you, telling you they're going to kick your ass, and you're just it just doesn't really match the energy. The anger, let that go and use the angry face more, in my opinion. But it's the same feedback for a lot of people, not just her. It's anyone who does that.
I don't have a feel for her. I just get excited because I know she'll put on a good match, but I don't know what to expect character-wise. I don't know what she's going to do with the title. I hope she doesn't just have it and never defends it or never gets shown with it like they've been doing with the titles. But she is exciting to watch, and when she's in a match, it's going to be good, and it's going to be interesting.
She's got a big one coming up, right? We're going to see her on a big stage against a big competitor. We don't know who yet.
Oh, we don't know who yet.
Sure.
Okay.
It depends on Tiffy's match with Nia and blanking. Who else is in that match? It's Nia versus
that
Tiffy
triple threat they
versus
threw
someone.
away? Are they tossed in there? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Whoever
even
wins
know.
that goes on to Crown Jewel.
The Crown Jewel match. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Not Jade, is it? Also in that?
I think it's Jade,
Nia,
Nia,
Tiffy?
and Tiffy. And Tiffy's gonna win, I guess, right?
Tiffy versus Stephanie sounds like the match to have, right?
No, this match was good. Io had been my pick to win, but I really didn't, have one strong preference either way. I just thought Io, for the reason I said the other week, was maybe already more established as a champ, but it's very clear they're not treating this as a placeholder. Hopefully this means they have a plan for Stephanie as the champ, and it's an opportunity for us to get to know her a bit more beyond just, hey, she's a really good wrestler. She's over. She's got a lot of hype.
Yeah.
She got the
move.
Booker T has an aneurysm every time she does the, what's it called? The Devil's Kiss.
Devil's Kiss.
Sex move. Exactly. Oh,
Sex move.
right. There's our
John Cena.
John Cena.
I don't know. I typed them
Droom. Punky Lee. Okay, well, speaking of Punky Lee, that was the next match on the card. AJ Lee, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, with Team Punk and Lee winning over Team Lynch and Rollins via submission.
Submission. Well,
Yeah.
You started off, man. What do you think?
I mean, first of all, just this is kind of what we were waiting for, right? Seeing AJ Lee in a WWE ring, not just showing up and kind of waving and doing a little skip move, actually wrestling. And, I some people, including some in the Four Jobbers exclusive group chat, said she looks sloppy. I don't expect anybody to look amazing after 10 years out of the ring. Ring rust is a thing, and there's one thing to train. It's another thing to be in a match. But I think she looked fine, personally. I liked the interaction between all four of them. I saw some people say it kind of felt like a soap opera happening, but in wrestling form, and I kind of agree. And so there was story here. Did it
That's what I want.
hit the heights I had hoped? Maybe not. But I also don't feel like it was a letdown. The right team won. AJ gets her big return. And overall, like, they put on a good show. I was sports entertained, in the words of Simon Miller. And I think that's all you can ask for a match like this. I don't expect this to be a wrestling clinic. I expect this to be story driven. And it was story driven. That's it.
I think that's what a lot of people missed on this match is the way that it was wrestled. There was a very specific style and a very specific story being told. Was it done perfectly? No, I think there's probably some things they would change about it too, but this hasn't really been done in WWE in a long time, or if not ever, right? Like this mixed match and mixed tag, or not ever, it's been happened, but it's been a while. At least on this level, at the highest level, main event caliber. So I think it was still entertaining. It was great. It had story. So I didn't mind it as much as the IWC seemed to, and maybe it's just because the whole thing overall, the whole card ended up being a big disappointment that this is, looks worse than maybe it actually was. And if you go back and watch it, you'll actually pick up on some nuance, some story, and maybe enjoy it a little more, I think, would be my opinion on this one.
I think they did a good job of, they made us wait 10 years for her to come back and then made us wait for like the whole match for her to get tagged in. That was well done. There was, Seth mocking her little skip. Like you said, it was mostly story-based, funny moments. I didn't know for sure if it was going to be like that going into it, but, they did a good job.
There wasn't a lot of hate going into it, and there wasn't a lot of hate in this match. There's dislike.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though maybe there should have been more hate, do you think? Or was it...
Yeah,
because it was definitely skewed more jokey than...
It felt like a
Blood
cartoon
Feud.
or something, a little
Yeah, it
bit.
was more cartoony. Which is, like I said, it was a very particular style, a very particular story, but fun.
Yeah. Maybe they could have just gone further and made it really seem exactly like you said, like they really hated each other. That Punk and Seth are supposed to hate each other. And AJ, Becky was smacking your man around. I don't know. Act like it.
Yeah.
Act like it a little more. But
And
Yeah,
Seth, didn't Seth do something to AJ, like pulled her legs out and made her fall or something?
yeah,
In the corner,
yeah.
he pulled her.
Yeah. So, I mean, just then, again, it felt more, like you said, more cartoony than anything. Speaking of cartoony, the next match was Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the title. And it was won by Cody. Jason, I see you do a big inhale here. Yeah. Why don't you tell us how you feel about this match?
Tell us how you really feel, Jason.
It was a weekly Raw SmackDown match. Cody has the title. He's never gonna lose it. It always feels that way. Drew deserves a win and just always loses. So it was just disappointing. Like, I know I shouldn't have built myself up to say that Drew had a chance, but if we're not going to ever do that, why are we watching? Like, if they're never going to surprise us or give us anything different. And at this point, when they're just a big, giant, greedy, horrible company like TKO, we're probably not going to get cool stuff like we used to, and they're just going to go the corporate way and keep Cody with his nice blonde Street Fighter 2 hair to keep carrying the belt.
This should not have been Drew. This would not have been as bad, and the backlash wouldn't be as bad if it wasn't Drew. We all wanted Drew to win so bad. It's the wrong guy to choose. Everybody wanted Drew to win, even if you love Cody, in this moment, you were like, this is Drew's time. He's finally going to do it again. He's finally going to get it back. We didn't need to get worked in that way on this show, especially when you're trying to get Cody more over and continue this like John Cena type run. I get it for all the marketing and all that, but you can appease more people. Like, I'm happy Drew got in the match, probably got a great payday, all these things, but taking that loss made all of us feel so bad and makes us dislike Cody and dislike the choice and dislike everything. If it was somebody else taking that L, it would not feel as bad. Instead, they made it Drew, which is believable that he has a chance to win, but when he doesn't, it's not like It's not like the type of bad that's, it's like, oh, Cody wins again. No, it's like a hurt Cody wins again. Like, oh, fuck you, TKO type shit. Makes us bring up all that stuff. There's not the good kind of hurt.
It's if I had to
The
list
lazy.
out wrestlers who I'm interested in what they're doing right now, I don't know if Cody would even be in my top 10. Maybe not my top 15.
No, because he was filming a movie and
Filming
just
a
came
movie.
back for a generic match.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
And yeah, it feels like he sells a lot of merch. He's over with, the general public.
Everybody.
And so, yeah, I agree. It's more of a business decision than it is like an interesting story to keep him as the champ. It's the safe move because we know that people will tune in. The people who like Cody will tune in. They'll buy his stuff. They'll do the whoa every single time he does it. And that's the safe move, I guess. It's not the interesting move. And it's a shame if that is kind of the path they're going to go down. And we're going to have...
It's a big fuck you to
That is.
ESPN. You're like, we're going to give you Cody versus Drew. This is the moment where Drew would have, if Drew won that match, everyone would be talking about it. It would have been massive news. It would have been all over what's Drew going to do, the celebrations, the memes, like everything coming out of that would have been so cool, and it would have been a major moment for ESPN to talk about and post about and everything. Instead, it's everything you said.
Just Cody can be edgier than this. Cody can be more interesting than this. They just don't want him
Yeah,
to. They want him
they're
to be the white bread,
Uh-uh.
face that runs the place. And I just don't think that's where he's best. I know they need a face because they feel they need a face, but I don't think it should be Cody. I don't think it should be anyone. I think it should be a cast of characters who rotate in when they're needed.
But business-wise, it seems to make sense that you have that one super face that's going to sell the merch to the kids and everything else, and he's that guy. But does he need the belt for that? If he had lost this match, would it have changed anything?
I don't think so. I'd be more interested. You'd get the kids, you'd get the fair weathers.
There we go.
And you'd get the smarks too.
There's a way to do it,
right? So
Yep.
it's a shame that that's what. I don't know why this was the main event. I agree. I don't know why it was Drew of all people who was in this match. I don't know who else you would put in there, but just I don't know.
Gotta be. You gotta find someone else that isn't
him. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no.
It would have been too early, but I don't even care. Give
Yeah.
me Rusev. It would make more. And Rusev can come out and. I mean, I love what Rusev is doing with Dom though, and he keeps calling him boy. That's crazy. That's so funny. He's like, "I'm coming after you, boy." I'm like, every time he says it, I was popping watching it because he's just. And then Dom tried to call him back because like hiding behind JD McDonough or something. JD hits him and he's like, "I got you, boy."
All that to say.
No,
Anyway,
yeah.
Dom and Rusev gold.
Yeah.
Anyway, this event was bookended by very disappointing matches. We had a couple high points in the middle. Am I going to remember this show at the end of the year when we do our Jobby Awards? No. It will not be on the ballot.
No.
We'll remember Stephanie's first title win at some
Maybe.
point, things like that. We won't
Yeah.
look on it as like match of the year or anything, even though it
Great
was a
match.
great match and a great moment and all that. It won't be remembered in that way. And if we do remember anything, maybe it will be that four-way AJ Lee's first match
Yeah.
back. So two
Some moments.
big moments for wrestling fans that we'll remember back on fondly, but just
Yeah.
not.
And I don't. Not every pay-per-view
Not now.
or premium live event is going to have a match of the year candidate. But
Yeah.
I think we all expected more, being that this was the beginning of the ESPN era. We thought they would give them something a little bit more significant. I guess not.
Here's Pat McAfee.
Oh, great. Cool.
It was kind of nice to see him for a little bit.
It was, for sure.
And,
It's
they,
good
and
to
he
have him
didn't
there
even
for
say the
one
whole
show.
show. I think that's
Yeah.
him at his best.
Maybe so,
in
in small
little bits.
small
His
doses.
shtick gets very old now because he barely comments on what's going on. And so, yeah, I think you're right, Jason.
Yeah.
He's best in small doses.
Mhm.
Enough. Yeah.
So that was the show. That was the show. We want to talk about NXT
We
really
should.
quick, Jay, because you were tuned in, locked in. I ended up tuning in a bit. I really, really love the invasion angle. I love seeing these people like Matt Cardona, and
I didn't even know it was an invasion. I just saw a bunch of people rush the ring, and I was like, "What is this?" And I turned it off
no way, because
I thought it was a bunch of NXT
the group.
people.
Yeah, you were so mad
because
that
I wanted
Obafemi's
to watch.
match got interrupted, and you got worked.
I mean, I guess. I thought NXT was better. I didn't know they do the same crap.
Not everyone
schmoz.
was expecting all these, all the TNA
It was
talent to
bubbling
come in
over.
and
They had all these
crazy.
TNA
Yeah.
people like tweeting, saying, "Oh, tired of being disrespected, tired of these NXT superstars coming onto our shows, winning our titles." So it was bubbling over. I hadn't
Yeah.
tuned in the last couple weeks, but I was expecting some sort of.
Yeah, it's not completely
No.
unexpected that they
It's not.
invaded. It's awesome that they did it. It makes sense that they did it. It worked up to that moment. We weren't even sure if it was a work, is it a shoot, are they
Yeah,
actually
and then they
upset, are
had them
not?
showing up during the match. Like, Mike Santana was there the whole
Yeah,
time.
so you know what's coming,
Yeah,
kind of, but
Cardona shows up. The
it was great.
not the Iconics, but the formerly known the Iconics.
We could call them the Iconics. They're
Mance
the Iconics.
Warner was in the ring. Are
Zack
you
Ryder
kidding
showed
me?
up.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. So this is setting up to like a crazy War Games type thing,
hope.
right? Like, it's going to be sick.
I like the start of this. Big angles like this tend to have mixed results. They can go poorly. They can go very well. But as of now, I'm locked.
They more often go
as
poorly,
of now,
but
I'm
that's
locked
okay.
in. As of now, I'm locked in. I love a good brand war for what it could be. Now, it could go off the rails very, very quickly. It could be a huge bust. But it's something. Of course, we were talking about it the last few months. The IWC's been talking about, why is TNA letting these people come in here and win these titles? Of course, they're going to be pissed. A lot of them being former NXT and WWE wrestlers themselves. So I'm glad they're kind of fighting back. I'd like to see where this goes. I hope we have a few months of this, or I mean, not a few months, but at least a couple months of this. I don't know where it ends. I'm psyched to see Matt Cardona in a WWE ring again. I hope we see more of him. And I don't know. I think, Jason, I think you were wrong to turn the TV off. I get it. It ended the match in a schmoz, but it was the sacrifice to be made.
I didn't know. It's the first time I watched NXT
It's
in
fine.
like
It's
10
fine.
years.
But it's so great that it happened, because now it's like an interesting story. It's like I turned it off because I thought these bums were coming in. No, it turns out it was TNA. Finding out after the fact is
So it
still
was
great.
bums.
And probably still makes you want to watch, right?
It was
what?
It was bums.
It was
it's this
bums.
type of disrespect,
No,
Jason, that made them charge the ring in the first place.
No, I didn't know it was them. Obviously, all that makes sense. I don't follow it. I was just only watching because I know these two guys are studs, and I wanted to see them fight. And then
How was the match before the invasion?
It was good. It was very interesting. That's why I was upset. But if I had the backstory and was watching, now it makes sense. I'm sure people following along are happy. I'm just an idiot that tuned in. Don't worry about me.
No, but now going forward, you
Yeah.
tuning in is going to be great, because I'm sure you're more interested now.
Yeah, the
You're like, "Shit, what
context.
I missed out on. Da, da, da."
Yeah, I'd like to see
I'm
what
curious.
happens. I want to see where they go with it. But honestly, like, it's a lot of wrestling to consume, so I got to pick and choose, like, what's really important. It's
Well,
tough.
You also saw what happened at the end of that brawl. There was a certain face-off around the NXT title between Obafemi, but not Trick. Trick was fought off. Richard Saints. So I wonder if he's the next to step up.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Finally.
I'd like to see.
Everyone's been wanting that, man. And we want to see that battle, not just the two of them, but Ricky Saints going for the main title. And it's great if he wins and starts running the NXT division, and that gives Oba a chance to now have some freedom to maybe flex into the big leagues for a little bit. I don't know if he's got a two-way contract. I don't know how these things work, but
anyway, yeah. I anything else we wanted to talk about from the world of wrestling? The NXT TNA one was the big one for me.
there's tons of Mexican wrestling going on right now. That's supposed to be amazing. So definitely there's a chance to check that out if you guys are interested. Or AEW. AEW has a show on tonight. It should be a big one. There's some announcement coming from Tony Khan. So if you're listening to this after the fact and want to talk about it, let us know at the Four Jobbers. We are everywhere. You listen and consume wrestling, and I'm doing little live watch-alongs now. Going to do one with Jason next week. So we're going to be pumping out reaction content, but not like you get elsewhere, hopefully.
It's more if it's two people,
do it our
more
own way.
commentary rather than
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Having two people and whoever jobbers join us throughout on those two. That's it. It's just content at the Four Jobbers everywhere. And we're going to come out with some content from this. We're going to record some now, so stay tuned for that as well. See you guys next freaking week.
Oh.
Good evening.